Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ghost Gaming with me, Christopher, and this is Orwell. If you ever wanted to work for a state agency that has a pretty comprehensive surveillance system of its citizens, well, Orwell just might be for you. And yeah, isn't that just something everybody would like? Dramatic pause. No, probably not, but we are gonna do that today. And yeah, if you don't know about Orwell, not a new game by any means, but it is an interesting game, and a game that, as far as I know, has a pretty unique gameplay experience, so to speak. I don't know about any other game that works like this, and I always enjoy games that does something unique such as this one. And I will say though, I have a slightly ulterior motive for doing this little video. See, I have played this game before, I've completed it, so I sort of know what's going on. However, I haven't played the sequel, and I do want to do that. And I have in mind to do a series on that on this channel. So see this little video as an introduction to how this game works. As far as I know, I've seen a little bit about the second one, and I think it plays fairly similar. I think that the main difference actually between this one and the sequel is that probably the developers earned a little bit of money after releasing this. So in the sequel they have some voice acting and stuff like that. In this game there is no voice acting, it's all text. And what is it that we are gonna do? Well, I thought that I would tell you, but you know what? I'm gonna start a game from the very beginning, and the game will tell us what to do. I think that that is the better choice. So we're gonna create a brand new profile and get on the surveillance bus. Yeah, that's gonna be just great. And as a part of us, creating our character here, our profile, we get to step number 3, which is that we are gonna have to agree to some terms of service. I'm aware that my actions may severely impact the lives of citizens of the nation. I will work thoroughly and judge objectively in the best of my belief. While working, I will adhere to the laws and jurisdictions of the nation. Can I just ignore that? Can I ignore this? No, I cannot. Oh well. Let's do that then. And here we are. So that's a little bit of an intro sequence there and why we are here. And let's say hello to my, I guess, supervisor, colleague, I don't know, Symes. He's going to be with us throughout this game. And he says to me, you're online. Good. Call me Symes. I will be your advisor. Okay, so not a supervisor, but an advisor on Orwell. Together we will form both the first and the last line of defense against terrorism. Yeah, that's the way it always sounds, right? So for this test phase, you're one of the first people to try out the Orwell system under real circumstances, selected from thousands of applicants from across the globe. Normally, congratulations would be in order, but as you can see from that footage, there's been an incident. So let's get started. And there we go. So he's gonna take us through the steps here. I've activated the reader tool for you. Its purpose is storing bookmarks to online websites and documents for easy access, and to highlight when there is new information to be investigated. First, I want you to be informed of the situation. Our leading newspaper, the National Beholder, will bring you up to speed. So that means that we just go in here. For now, this is what we have available to us. So yeah, it does get highlighted like this. We click on this, we go to a website. It actually has even like a loading bar, which is just fantastic. Feel free to browse the National Beholder. I've activated the profiler. Open the unknown person file once you're done. So yeah, we can just basically read this sort of as an actual online paper. So bomb obliterates Freedom Memorial and kills 3. An explosion destroys the Freedom Memorial in Bonton, not Boston, but Bonton. 3 people killed, 5 severely injured. Authorities receive strange letter, and we can actually read more. So we go in here and we get the whole shebang. We can go back. There's other stuff. Negotiations with Triflith failed. So Triflith is I would assume a city in Pargesian, and Pargesian, I think, if I remember correctly, is our neighboring nation. So the Pargesian president aborts negotiations with opposition. Violent rise in Triflet. Blaine encourages renewal. And indeed, movie shooting completed. We can look at that as well. But we have an unknown person over here. So that is indeed an unknown person. The profile holds all known information on those we investigate. The file you've opened is for our main suspect. The blue-haired woman that the CCTV footage shows before the assault is no stranger to the police. Take a look at the arrest record. So on her profile, we can see something somewhere. What did you want me to go for? Well, now I'm here we go. Okay, never mind. Yes, we do get information when there is new information. Here we go. Cassandra Watergate. So this is the Bonton Police Database. The highlighted elements in the records are pieces of data that are able to be extracted. We call these elements data chunks. Hovering over a data chunk will reveal the relevance to the case and any connections or information it may influence. Drag and drop all data chunks from the police database into a profile to upload them to our servers. So, for example, we have a name. Right now, this person is called an unknown person. We take this, we upload it to Orwell, and now we have a name, Cassandra Watergate. But we also probably would like a face on her, so we do that. We can actually change the face over and over if we want to. And very good, pictures and names are crucial information for Orwell to identify a person. I mean, makes sense. Information in documents can only become a data chunk when it can clearly be assigned to a target person. Add the reason for Ms. Watergate's prior arrest that has been unlocked. We will need this info to progress. So right now, that is the only thing that we can do, but we can read more about this. So, suspect was arrested on site after Officer Franklin had been struck by an unknown object and became unresponsive. The protesters at the origin of the assault were forcibly removed, where the suspect was found kneeling and weeping on the ground. When asked to lay on the ground with her hands behind her back, the suspect cooperated immediately. So that is interesting in a way, that she was actually kneeling and weeping on the ground, even though she apparently had been charged with assault by some form of unknown object. But we'll add it. So upload that as well. So now we have indeed a related thing here. Good, but the data you extracted from the police record and new document can now be accessed. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you believe in coincidence? I do not. Find the data revealing where she attacked the police officer and you will see what I mean. Well, isn't that fascinating? So, we can now go back. Yes, indeed. So now we have more bookmarks from the National Beholder. So is this woman a terrorist? It's actually a... Well, what would this be? An article or something? So is this woman a terrorist? Woman allegedly injured a police officer 2 weeks ago. Remains in custody. Trial scheduled for August. So the case that keeps the media and the public guessing: Cassandra W., Watergate, who had allegedly injured a police officer severely 2 weeks ago, is still being held in police custody. The young woman is accused of having hit the victims with a large brick. But it does say unknown object here, but it does say large brick here. The incident occurred during a rampage at the Freedom Plaza as part of a demonstration against the newest amendment to the government's model project, the Safety Bill. And due to the chaotic nature of the scene, police have not yet been able to connect the crime to the accused Cassandra Watergate, who is an artist by profession. Sorry, that was a dot there. Cassandra W., who is an artist by profession, has denied the accusations completely and has asked her fans to show her support. A trial has now been scheduled for the mid-August, and the case received nationwide attention when Catherine Delacroix, Secretary of Security, labeled the alleged perpetrator alongside the other writers as anti-governmental terrorists. Yeah, that's the sound of slightly authoritarian voices here. Anti-governmental, just because they are protesting a safety bill where clearly the main goal is surveillance, which is exactly what I'm doing. But let's add that bit of information, because as it says here, if you just hover before you move it over, it says previously arrested for assault on a police officer at Freedom Plaza. So we can upload that as well. So indeed, we get a little bit more information here. Previously it said previously arrested for assault on a police officer, but now we get where that was. The exact same location as the assault. Then she turns up right before the explosion. Surely not a coincidence. As you know, Miss Watergate is still running around freely. We should find out why. We should also gather more background information on her. I want to know who we're really dealing with. So, for example, artist by profession. We can get her profession. So yeah, you have these different tabs over here, and right now I can't really click on anything, but if we keep uploading things, we can get, right, the occupation is up here. Oh yes, one does street art by blowing memorials to pieces by any chance? Question mark. Great, you have found another document. Before we go on, let's clarify your job and how it affects mine, shall we? Yeah, let's actually do that, because this is almost a little bit important for how this game works. So you've extracted all the info I already knew about Miss Watergate. Starting now, I'm going into this case blind. The Orwell Ethical Codex dictates that investigators, like yourself, are the only ones allowed to access the documents of target persons. Advisors, like me, only get to see the data provided by the investigators. We will then draw conclusions and request action. Your primary job is to provide information you deem important. Never give away incorrect or misleading data. You may hit disable on a data chunk you do not want to pass on to Orwell. However, some data chunks might be necessary to progress on the case. So that is actually very, very important. See, the relationship between me and Symes is that I only send him information such as this. I am not talking to him directly. I cannot say why I uploaded something. I cannot sort of dictate my reasoning for uploading something. He will only see what I've uploaded and reacts on that. And that is, in some cases, very, very important to know. But also, the first time you play it is kind of hard to know exactly what is or isn't important. That is something to be aware of. Now, I believe that if there is a little star, doesn't that mean that I have something I can... Doesn't that mean that I have something I can now upload? Am I incorrect in that? I probably am incorrect, and I thought that that was the case, but no, it doesn't seem to be that way. We do have a portfolio page, where we have Cassandra Watergate. And as a matter of fact, if I wanted to, I could now actually update her picture. If I wanted this to be her portrait, I could do that. But I guess her mugshot is going to be what we are currently having on her. So this is her gallery. She has some cool pictures of cats. She has more information here, more here, etc., etc. So we can start working through all of this. So let's check her profile here. So hi, I'm Cassie, a colorful inhabitant of Wonderland right behind the rainbow. So we have not yet figured out her address. Now if I would move this into the address, it would say that she is actually living in Wonderland right behind the rainbow. that is misleading information because obviously she's not actually living in Wonderland. She's living somewhere else. So this is one of the first times where if you add this, Symes is not going to be super happy, I don't think. So let's see what happens if I actually added this into this. Let's see if Symes has something to say about that. So, you were under the impression that our wonderful Miss Watergate is really living in Wonderland? Somehow I doubt that. Call it intuition. People's lives are hanging on the balance here. What if you pass me something I cannot identify as wrong so easily? You got to be more careful next time around. So he actually, acknowledges that you added something kind of strange on this one. So, keep going. Finally found the courage to quit my dull day job, focus on my art career. So that would be quit previous job to focus on an art career. I mean, that could be interesting. So let's actually add that in for just slightly more information about her. That is indeed interesting. We could find out what that job was. Below you'll find a hand-picked selection of my latest works. You can browse through them by clicking on the arrows on the left or right side of the pictures below. So actually the game sort of tells you that, which is just nice. See something you like? Why? Of course you do, because it's freaking awesome, isn't it? Leave a message on my util account, Cassie92, and tell me which piece you'd like. I'm gonna make a fine art print and ship it right away to your doorstep. Best thing, free of charge. Now off you go and have fun. So this is obviously super important because we can get her util account. That is very, very useful, and she's a bit silly for actually adding that onto a page like this. So good, you have found a chat handle that would allow us to overhear any conversation on that account. The listener has now been unlocked. New conversations will appear whenever they are started. So we have the listener over here. It's gonna ping whenever something happens. But we also saw that there was some more stuff down here that we could find out about. So, my beloved furball Kikiko, definitely the only family I need. But we go right, that beaut is me, can actually not add this as her profile, rather profile image, sadly. I was never sure about the title though, The Businessman's Forgotten Daughter or A Victim of Traditionalism in Pink. What do you think? So, Daughter of Entrepreneurs, could be true, but also this is the title, or rather this is the, well, yeah, it is title, right? Title on a painting. I think that is true. It is. She's thinking about titles on the painting, so it might not necessarily be true that she is the daughter of entrepreneurs. If we go here, a Christmas present for my darling. This is actually, yeah, she's in a relationship. Well, here's the thing. Is she though? She might have been when this was posted. We don't know if she is in a relationship right now. This was actually meant to be a private piece, but oh well, I'd have a hard time keeping it to myself. So I'm actually not gonna do that because, yeah, I don't know that she's in a relationship. We don't have a timestamp for this, and right now we do know that it's April 13th of 2017, but yeah, we don't know when this was uploaded. However, I will actually upload that she is a daughter of entrepreneurs, because that might actually be correct. So with that, we have actually opened up the listeners. We now have a session between Cassandra Watergate and an unknown person. So that unknown person is now going to be available to us, I believe. So, hey you, hey Jossie. What is Jossie gonna say? I can't seem to find my credit card. I assume you took it right. You got me, Sherlock. And keep going. Ooh, I could actually speed this up now that I think about it. I might actually lower that a bit. I'm in the middle of buying all the Bonton with that platinum card I lifted from your desk. So, stole a credit card from unknown person. Maybe don't upload that immediately until you've seen what is going on here. Can't stop me now. Well, luckily for you, I don't mind you going on a splurge as long as you pick up some wine for dinner. Wine? What does Joseph Langley, my fearless attorney and all-round badass, have in mind this time? Perhaps just a business call from one of his favorite clients. Actually, yes, that is exactly what's going to happen. Very serious business, Cassandra. I thought as much. Indeed, some lovely, lovely banter between these two. Guess I better pick up shitloads of wines. You'll have to get this client of yours pretty buzzed to handle all that business. One bottle should be fine. She's a lightweight. Might she be talking about Cassandra? Probably. Oh, whatever. I guess I shouldn't pick up those party pills from Big Pharma, aka my parents then. So yes, indeed, daughter of pharmaceutical entrepreneurs. Oh, come on, I was only teasing. Speaking of your parents, when are you going to tell them about us? Yeah, maybe. Gotta go now. Text you later. XOXO. And that is the session closed. So, probably she hasn't stolen the credit card, probably. But we do get some information here about a new person. So indeed, that is going to be a new profile. They have some sort of relation. We can start looking into that as well. You know, a profile for a related person. It can be accessed via the profiler. Data chunks will only appear for targeted persons and can only be extracted into the relevant profiles. So that is very, very reasonable to say. So if I, for example, click up Joseph Langley here, I could add that her parents are pharmaceutical entrepreneurs because it's not her profile. So if we, how did I close this? How did I just go back? There we go. That's how you do it. Here, however, we can specify a little bit more here about daughters of entrepreneurs. We can add that they are pharmaceutical entrepreneurs, which most likely will get us, yes indeed, more related documents. Watergate, pharma entrepreneurs. That does ring a bell. Right, let's head into the reader again, because we can find Watergate Pharma. Here we go. This is some interesting information. So, Watergate Pharmaceuticals, some information about Methorin Blue, which apparently is one of the things that they are selling, antidepressant to help stabilize your emotions. They have some other things as well. But maybe more importantly, let's look a bit at the company. We have Bruno Watergate, the CEO, grandson of our founder, Edgar Watergate. Indeed, we also have Dr. Alice Watergate, co-founder of the firm with her husband Bruno, holds a PhD in biology and chemistry. And here, well, who's this? Cassandra Watergate, Jr., COO. And carrying the family tradition to the next generation, Alice's and Bruno's daughter Cassandra will soon be joined in executive ranks. Her business acumen and unique flair will write the next chapter of her 85-year strong legacy. So it seems that her occupation actually isn't an artist. It is actually a junior COO. And I don't know exactly if it's going to change this, but we do get some information about her background. Appointed to be COO of a pharmaceutical company, probably by one of her parents. Being an artist and a junior COO seems quite odd. She also mentioned she had quit a dull job, didn't she? We might find that out as well. But we do get information that Alice Watergate and Bruno Watergate are her parents. So now we're getting some slightly more, or rather more information about her people around her, keeping it familiar indeed. And we can actually, documents that you've already reviewed may be updated from time to time as events unfold. The reader will notify you when that happens. The National Beholder just published a new article. You may want to take a look to see if there's any new information available. We shall do that in just a second. However, we also kind of want to go back here and look for jobs. There might be something here. Josephine Marquardt, head of HR. Nothing too urgent there, but we are urgently looking for a chief operating officer to replace the retired, formerly appointed predecessor. So could that be her? I mean, this is slightly difficult to assess here. Well, I mean, sure, if she's the junior COO, I don't actually remember this specifically, because if you go here, it does say junior COO here, yes, and here it says formerly junior COO, but is this related to her? Or is this the position that she is taking? Because the thing is, under her text, it says that will soon be joining. So, I don't know about that one. Let's leave that little data chunk. So there are new things in the National Beholder. Procedure closing raises manipulation suspicions. And what do you know? Joseph Langley. Orwell informs me that you just encountered conflicted data chunks. Whenever the content of two data chunks are at odds with one another, those will be shown as conflicted. When you extract one of the data chunks containing a conflict, the others will become invalid immediately. I'd highly recommend that you clarify the context of the conflict before you proceed, though this is your decision. Once the information has been parsed, there is no way to reverse your choice. So that is the introduction to this little mechanic. So we have two things here. We actually know right now which one it is. Sometimes you will get a conflict before you even know what the conflict is. Good to know. So the Bonton. So this is actually her lawyer, as I think we knew that, I believe. Yes, indeed, we got that he is her lawyer. So the case that has been at the center of media attention for the last month has finally come to an end. Cassandra Watergate was acquitted of the alleged assault against a police officer before the trial took place, with the case being closed due to lack of evidence. So, criminal case closed due to lack of evidence, it says here. However, the case might be reopened should new evidence be discovered. The suspect's lawyer, Joseph Langley, pictured above, welcomed this outcome. At no point has there been any valid evidence that my client was guilty, at no point at all. The revered defense attorney commented during a post-trial press gathering. The defense successfully brought video evidence depicting the incident in question, which evidently turned the tide of the proceedings. Meanwhile, the relatives of the victim expressed their disappointment on hearing the result of the lawsuit. They openly voiced their concerns that the wealthy family of the accused might have influenced the outcome in her favor. The victim, a father of two young sons, was rushed into hospital after the incident in mid-July, where he is still in an induced coma, unresponsive to treatment. So obviously, this says that parents may have closed the Torgus personal criminal case by illegal means. Now, we don't know that. How would we know that from the information we've picked up so far? Right now, I mean, she has been... It has been closed because of lack of evidence. That is why it was closed. This is just an opinion, basically, at this point. Because of the victim's family thinks that something has happened here. But before we click on that, let's actually see what else we have. We have another news here of crime rates continuing to drop. The Ministry of Security here. Anything fun in here? Basically what you do is you sort of look at information that can be dropped off, so the data chunks. You can also get some information here on this website, the party website. I like how all of the names are The Nation and The Party. It's a little bit interesting. And indeed, we have some information here that after the safety bill was passed, crimes have been dropping. And obviously that is something that they're going to be very happy about. There doesn't seem to be super much here, though, that we can make use of right now. But there are a bunch of stuff here. We are also in the Pargas. Is Pargas... From a region torn by civil unrest. So is Pargas in the nation, or is it a neighboring nation? I don't exactly remember. That's fine, though. We also have other things that we can do. Become a part of the party, donating, volunteering, becoming a member, etc. There are some people that we can have a bit of an information of. The Prime Minister, Robert Blaine. Good thing to know who that is, I guess. We have the Secretary of Economy and Trade, Arthur Scott Gallagher. We've heard about her, Catherine Delacroix, the Secretary of Security, as well as Peter Faulkner, the Secretary of Defense. And there is some more information here, but that was the same that we had before. And the 5 pillars for a great nation: safety and security, economy and commerce, values and tradition, migration and foreign affairs, education and health. Indeed. But that's all good and well. Let's go back to this little thing. and say that I'm gonna go with the fact that the criminal case was closed due to lack of evidence, because that is obviously the truth. This is not the truth. This is just opinion by them, and I have found nothing to support this claim. So let's jam that in and see what Symes has to say about that. This is what I figured. A pity that the CCTV feed did not actually help. Maybe it will today. Yes, because we do have more information about that. So, right now, there's actually not super much we can do. We can go into this one, can't we? It would appear as if I can't. Well, that's a shame. So exactly what is it? Well, okay, so now comes the thing that I might not necessarily like about this game. Because sometimes the game will actually force you to take certain choices. So for example, there was one bit of news, or rather bit of information that I said that, oh, you know what, let's not upload that. And that is inside here. I have not uploaded... no, sorry, it's not here. It's in here. I have not uploaded this. I'm gonna bet you that is what I need to progress, because right now there's nothing to progress with. There are no new information or anything. So if I upload this, I bet you we are gonna get more stuff. Maybe I was wrong and nothing stays in the family. Ouch. This is probably what she meant about quitting her job. Good. So, what did I mean about this being a bad thing? Because here's the thing, I thought that, you know what, I don't know if this is her, or if this actually means that she's gonna take that job and they've just not corrected this, but the game forced me to upload this. And this happens on some occasions, and you can even get to a point when you have a lot of stuff that you can upload, where you've decided that, you know what, this is not interesting. I'm gonna mark this as, well, not interesting. And at some point, the game is not gonna progress. So then you know that one of those things that I have marked as uninteresting, I need to now upload that, even though I don't want to, because the game is not gonna progress unless I do. And you don't know which one it is, so you might actually upload more things than necessary. And yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. It might be a minor thing, and I might be expecting too much of the game. But yeah, with a game that's set up like this, that is slightly detrimental to the experience, I think. But whatever, let's keep going. Currently, I'm thinking that our Miss Watergate underwent quite a radical change. Don't you agree? Let's find out what happened in between these two lives of her. What may have caused this radical shift? We have some new information about that. We have a timeline on well, it's actually called timelines. We have a new picture if we want to add that. And the status is, you're invited to tea inside the rabbit hole. Ooh, she's a free thinker, is she? And indeed, her interests are art, music, and activism, you say? Well, that's kind of useful to add into that mix. She's actually an activist. We kind of already knew that though, but sure. Art, music, activism, what a lineup. And we can actually get her birthday as well, so fill in the date of birth up here. Good to know. I don't know exactly if this is relevant to anything, but you know, we do want to fill in this, and hopefully we can get her address at some point, because I don't think it is Wonderland. And much like, you know, Facebook, etc., we get a whole bunch of stuff here. So she has a bit of a entry here, March 1st, so about a month before today. Woohoo! First day in freedom, far away from the shackles of Watergate Pharma. So we can safely assume that at some point here, this is where she actually quit her job. And Jake Clefton, what is gonna pay for your stuff now? Mommy and Daddy won't like this. Listen, Jake, I'm not Daddy's little girl anymore. My art already got me a lot of money, more than enough to pay all my bills. Don't you worry about me. But apparently that seems to be a non-interesting person. But we're getting stuff here. So, on January 29th, which is actually, yeah, this is the latest one that she does. Maybe, actually, you know what? Let's go from the bottom. Let's go from the bottom. So, the very first entry here is this. Okay, so that line is a little bit annoying because, you know, the line usually goes between comments, not between main entries. So, April 12th, 2016. So, we are a year in the past now. Ooh la la, we win now, having an amazing shopping tour with my Mary, best friend of all times. So, that is indeed a conflict in data at some point, but I don't know. Well, I probably have seen it. Probably was the one up there. Mary Bly, best friend. But you really should consider paying a visit to your hairstylist soon, darling. Well, that's what happened when you do my hair. And then we have, in June, just discovered this hot new band, The Targets. Man, do they rock hard. They're playing a concert in the Cell next week. Who's coming along? Mary, I'm looking at you. Punks, not really my style. Sorry, Cass. Can we just go see Cherry Cheeks sometimes? They're not just some punks. The lead singer is a real cutie, and they have this cool guitarist girl. Plus, they got a message. What's not to like? No, sorry, it's not for me. Bah, alrighty. You're the one missing out. I'll have them all for myself then. Cool. And continuing upwards, she indeed updates her profile picture with a little bit of a comment. The concert art was amazing, so amazing that I just had to give my hair a little makeover. So without further ado, how do you like it? Oh my god, what happened to your beautiful hair? Why did you ask me before going to a stylist? We could have gone together, says Mary Bly. MJ Clefton here. Cassie going punk. Did mom and dad agree with that? Is he her sort of brother, half-brother or something? Potentially. And we have another name here, Juliet Carrington. Looks nice, that's a whole new you. You also need a new name then. How about Cassarthis? That's clever, me likey. So henceforth, Cassandra shall be known to world as Cassarthis. And we can actually sort of nickname her here, but maybe not, because they're just, throwing names around. And we then have again another name, Harrison O'Donnell. That's a spirit, kiddo. Now I'd like you to invite you to our little activist group if you want to join us. It would be nice to have you with us for the protest on the Freedom Plaza on Friday. Now that is rather interesting, because we are most likely talking about the protest in where she was accused of attacking the police officer. So, a Harrison O'Donnell has invited her to an activist group. That seems very, very good indeed. Are we going to get anything fun from that? An activist group? Is there anything more specific? Not right now, but we do have more information here in the listener. So let's go immediately over to that. A bit of information on Joseph Langley here, or from Joseph Langley. So, hey, did you hear about the Freedom Plaza bombing? Yeah, don't remind me, I have a history with that place. So we have to understand now that this is completely private. She does not know that we are listening in. Already fucked me up enough that I had to catch a bus from there every day. Too many bad memories, and now I was there just moments before this happened. I never should have gone to the damn protest. Darling, you don't need to justify yourself to anybody, especially not to me. Well, isn't he just nice to her? And what she's going to say about that. I was so happy when the Goldfells accepted me into thought. I desperately wanted to go to prove my worth to the cause. Think of it this way, if you would not have gone to the protest, then you never would have been wrongfully indicted, and then we would never have met. And yeah, I would not have been called a terrorist in all the papers. You're not a terrorist, okay? Ain't I? You sure? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. She seems to be, catching. Apparently, she seems to think that she has gotten him. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Was that supposed to be my credit card and cash register? Something like that, I guess. I hope you like, Chateau Margaux. Apparently, beautiful, beautiful thing here. Great, so you decided to bankrupt me. She might be kidding. Yes, sir. Always ready to pull the money out of innocent pockets. She is trying to be a little bit funny. Anyway, I got the good stuff. Now I'm headed to my handsome boyfriend Joseph for dinner. Ooh, boyfriend, you say? Okay. And he's saying, here's the thing. I've got an important appointment tonight. It's surprisingly out of schedule and I can't postpone it. You gotta be kidding me. I'm very sorry, darling. We'll see each other tomorrow. You always have an appointment with... I love this little touch. the exclamation point and the one. Appointment here, there, appointment every fucking where. How can you constantly do this to me? Darling, please just calm down. Have you taken your methadone? Yes, damn it. It's the only thing that matters to you that I'm on fucking happy pills all day. Bit of tension here. Darling, please, it's not like that, and you know it. So keep my mouth shut whenever you leave me hanging. If I don't show up at this appointment, I risk losing a very important client. Fine. Don't you understand that? Oh no, I totally understand. Don't you risk losing that very important client of yours now? Cassie, don't be like that. Oh, poor guy. Oh, she did retract something. Did that get retracted somehow? That's interesting. Going home now in case I'm getting up on that priority list of yours anytime soon. Please. And there we ended that little conversation. So, interesting things here. First of all, we can absolutely add that she is on the medication methadone, and we've already read about that. That is a specific one that we read about, which is an antidepressant. So let's actually upload that. That seems useful. So she is on antidepressants. Simon's gonna say rather want us to look into that, and we can do that. And she is labeling him as her boyfriend, and he is actually not. I mean, he's not saying anything about that they are actually together, but he's also not denying it. So you know what, both lawyer but also a relationship with the lawyer might be noteworthy indeed. And if we go up here, we also had this one, very, very interesting. So Goldfels, a new name who has accepted me into Thought. Apparently we can't deduce from this that the group is called Thought, but that seems very interesting. And because we now have a name of probably what is the activist group. We don't know that it is, though. We only know that that she's been accepted into Thought. We actually don't know that that is an activist group. Maybe that is what influenced it. And who is Goldfels? We should find something that shows her current attitude and see if we're following the right person. And this is actually very, very interesting. And I don't know if we can actually avoid uploading this. Because if we upload this, we actually have confirmation that the reason why she was there is because she's there every day, because she actually takes the bus from there. But if I avoid uploading this, Symes actually won't know that. Symes won't know that she takes the bus every day. But you know what? Let's be candid here. Let's actually say that, rather show him that that is the case. So now he knows why she might have been there. So, because of that, her presence there before the bombing could be a coincidence after all. I'll share my thoughts until you find more evidence. So yeah, doesn't acquit her of anything, but it also shows her, or rather shows that she might have a reasonable alibi. Let's go back to reading her little Facebook thing here. So, yes, we do have Juliet Carrington, we do have the Harrison O'Donnell. Do I have those unlocked? I only have Harrison O'Donnell, actually. Currently, she's not interesting. We have the parents, we have somebody called Goldfels, which is interesting, because how do we know that that was a person? I mean, it could have been a group of people called the Goldfels, I guess, but whatever. Right, let's keep going up. Let's keep going up, and case closed we get here on August 9. So congratulations, I never had any doubts about it. So Harrison O'Donnell goes, kiddo, you're my heroine in both the heroic and the drug way. Ooh, that's interesting. 1,000 camps on the plaza, but no proof. We've shown the world that the dirty surveillance machinery only exists to intimidate and to mislead the people into believing false promises. Camps for safety? One big lie. And Juliet again, wow, I'm so happy for you. I knew everything would be okay in the end. Shall we have an awesome Cassandra Freedom Party on Friday? Thank you guys, I'm so happy. I'm sure you heard the load fall of my mind. And I'll totally write an article on our blog. And of course, I'm so in on that party. Right? And over here, we have the beholder actually wrote about me being freaking redeemed of this shit, but surprise, surprise, I had to mention the speculations over my parents buying me out. Makes the click counts go boom, doesn't it? So this is indeed the one that we have read. And at least you're redeemed now. Wanna blow steam together with a little late night shopping tour? Not today, I have a date this evening. Ooh, who's the lucky one? Mary doesn't know. And we do get this. Cassandra is in a relationship with Joseph Langley, not a member. And we actually already know that, so we don't need to upload that. So we could have gotten that from there. And despite the puppet of the state, you have finally managed to destroy us entirely. There is nothing left to do but congratulate you. These are my personal wishes to you from the deepest abyss of my heart. Fuck all of you government lackeys. Most painfully, Cassandra. And yeah, so she's getting a little bit on the activist side, and we are now in 2017. Mary, sweetie, what is the matter? That totally doesn't sound like you. You haven't hung out for ages. You gotta get out from time to time. You'd feel much better. And Mary, just shut your freaking mouth, okay? I'm not in the mood for your stupid act. I told you again and again, I cannot deal with this right now. Okay, you know what? I'm really sorry that I still care about my best friend, no matter how often she decides to give me the cold shoulder. But in that case, that's in the past now. So this is the obviously conflicting data chunk that for some reason Orwell thinks that this has been, rather this is a broken friendship. Don't necessarily mean that that is the case. Let's go up a little bit more. Okay, we don't have anything else. So actually, I mean, that doesn't seem like it necessarily means that that's a broken friendship, because she's a little bit, you know, diplomatic here. In the case, that's in the past and now, so she's absolutely not on board with that being a broken friendship. So I'm gonna go for the other one. They are indeed. I mean, they might not necessarily be best friends, but they are still friends, I think. So let's upload that. Don't know if that's gonna be much. But we have a name. How sweet. Oh, Symes. There's more stuff to the world than just surveillance. In products, we can actually now get information about Methorin. It is indeed an antidepressant. So let's upload that so we have a bit more information about her. She might be emotionally unstable if she's reliant on this medication. Could be it, yes. And are we actually already gonna get into another point where we don't know what to upload? It would appear as if we do. Well, there is one thing that I haven't uploaded, which is obviously, well, right, I can upload this. Never mind, completely forgot about that. Yes, indeed. She had a bit of an outburst here about government lackeys. Let's show Symes that exists. So he's most likely to have something to say about that. Well, Miss Watergate, we aren't too fond of you either. No, we are not. Looking at what you've extracted so far, we're dealing with a potentially dangerous personality. I will indicate that to law enforcement. Which is, you know, fair, I guess, but still. So right now, there isn't actually much else that I can do. So you know what, I'm just gonna put a stop to this video right here. So this is how this game plays. You go around all of these things, and it's set up quite nicely. I think if you go in, for example, into the chat, when she gets a little bit annoyed down here, first of all, you know, she's putting words together. We get the misspelling of appointment, etc., etc. I kind of like the fact that they're doing that. It's not just perfect everywhere. So that's definitely a nice touch to this game. And it is nice to sort of sit here and putter around finding stuff on people. And obviously, as we go further, this network is going to keep growing. We're going to have more people to find out about. We already have Mary Bly, which we could go into, but we don't really have anything on her. So I don't even think that I can take out... Nope, can't even go to her page, which is... I mean, that's a little bit sad. They could have added that functionality, because obviously if this was a equivalent of Facebook, I should be able to just click on her and go to her profile. But, I mean, in the beginning of the game, it is a bit restrictive. That's true. But yeah, I do like, as I said, games that bring some form of unique gameplay thing to their games, and this game absolutely does that. The only downside is the one that I already mentioned, which is that you might be forced to upload things that you don't necessarily want to upload because the game sort of expects you to upload it. And since there's no information whether or not a data chunk is part of something that needs to be uploaded, you might run into the problem that you upload things that you don't want to upload and you actually didn't need to upload. You never will know that. So that's a bit of a shame. But all things considered, I do enjoy this game quite a lot. And as I said, I do want to play the sequel. I don't know exactly when that's going to be, but at some point I am going to feature that on this channel, so look out for that, and hopefully it will, I mean, probably they will learn a few bits and pieces from this game. I do know that it looks fairly similar in the layout, etc, etc. I think that it plays basically the same as well, and I do believe that it's a sort of straight continuation from the story that you unravel in here. So whenever I do start that one, if you haven't seen what's going on here, maybe you should either play the game yourself, because obviously this is a great game, it's not very expensive either, and if you don't want things spoiled, I think that would be a really good thing. I might actually have to play it through again, by the way. Now that I think about it, I might have to do that because, you know, I don't remember everything. And going into the sequel with fresh knowledge might actually be a good thing. Maybe I'll hold off playing this through until such time as it's go time for the second game. So if you like this sort of thing, I definitely think that you should check this out. It is a nice little game, absolutely, and I enjoy it quite a lot. For now though, this has been Ghostmat Gaming with me, Christopher. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.